Manas, can you do the Mangalacharan prayers today?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, we are at still one more minute, few more seconds. Just wait for that. Okay, live started. Hare Krishna. Can you do the Mangalacharan prayers today?
Yes, Mataji.
Sorry. Okay, we are at still one more. Hearing my own voice. Okay, Manas, Hare Krishna. You can start now. Let's start with Mangalacharan prayers and then we'll continue our session.
Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sadatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamstra He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwar Shubhanustate Devi Pranamami Hari Priya वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यते चतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौरवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
Thank you so much, Manas. It was a very nice recitation. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back. And then we are the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We'll do it in 2 weeks, part 1 and part 2, because we have many verses to cover. So, but the first section is not much actually, but still we need the concept of philosophy that we need to go through. But the second section will be more, much more deeper we need to go. So, are you all ready for the 18th chapter?
Yes.
And
Very
before that,
much.
Yes,
before that, we're going to do the
Quiz.
revision of chapter
Yeah,
7.
revision.
Yes, we do the revision, and do remember after the next this week and next week we are done with our chapters, Bhagavad Gita, and we'll do one more revision of all the chapters in one session. That means it will be only the high level. Just go. Every chapter is 5 minutes. You can imagine, right? Just give the flow of the Bhagavad Gita so you can go and revise yourself. Then 2 weeks break for you to do your own revision and come back with for the exams and tests. Okay. That's our plan. Let's start with our revision of chapter 17. And then I'll take over. Hand over to Rishita Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. All right, I'm seeing two Avigyans today. I think one of them is an Avignan or an Avigyan, but there's very few of you. So hopefully more of the kids would join in the next 10 minutes or so. So I was thinking, instead of chapter 17, maybe we should do a revision of chapter 16. What do you all think? All of them are scared. No, Mataji, we only remember things for 1 week and then we erase them from our memory.
Even that is a question mark. Remember, 1 week thing is also a question mark. Then you're asking me 2 weeks before. I think you still can remember divine and demoniac qualities, chapter 16.
Mataji, I wonder, you both are so faithful to us that in 2 weeks you are going to revise the whole Bhagavad Gita.
It's okay. It's the first start of that, and we'll do again and again. Revision will make you not forget, and this is the right age for you all to go through this one. You believe it or not, for us it's very difficult to remember things. Memorizing any verses takes multiple times. Revise every day. For you all it's different. Focus is there. So that's why the brahmacharis are very powerful, because their focus is completely on it and they can remember many things. They're very powerful. The people who are more into family life and already old, they cannot do that. So your age is very perfect right now for you to memorize the verses, for you to learn the philosophy and get all the things. And next couple of months or years, if down the line, we can see you also a great preacher already, and you can surpass us very easily. I have no doubt on that. Okay. All right, Mataji, over to you.
All right. Cool. How many of you have revised chapter 17? Show of hands, please. Avigyan, Manas, Bhavya, Avigna. Good. Samath, what about you? Haven't revised, is it? Okay.
No.
Samath, what is the name of the 17th chapter?
Faith, the faith, the division of faith, the divisions of faith.
The divisions of faith. Very good. What does it mean, the divisions of faith?
So the people who have more faith in the
In the
like, suppose, is it the, oh yeah, now I understand. Demigods are mode of ignorance and no, demigods are mode of passion, goodness, and demons are in mode of passion and ignorance. And who is that? Yeah, like that,
huh?
like that. Like the demigods are like a demigods are mode of goodness, like that. Like that is a devotion.
Okay. So different, like, so what you're saying is that the chapter talks about faith in mode of goodness, ignorance, or passion. Okay, cool. Which is right. So the chapter is the divisions of faith, and we learn about how, based on the activities a person has, one of those could be worship. They are in different modes, material modes of, right. So it's either goodness, passion, or ignorance. So, question for you: what is the? I mean, why does Krishna start talking about this? What is the inquiry that Arjuna is making in the beginning? Yes, Avigna. Avigna.
Mataji, he asks about he asks about like now how do I say this?
Try. I'll help you.
Like now people they are like now how do the like the modes determine one's uh like one's faith that person has.
Yes, that is what Krishna answers. But what is the inquiry that Arjuna is making? Yes, Deshna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So Arjun is asking Krishna that who is it the right form of devotion if one is not following the prescribed principles and the scriptures and doing it on their on basis of their own imagination.
Yes, very good. So remember, 16th chapter ended with Krishna saying that you have to follow the scriptural injunctions, right? In case to worship correctly, you have to follow the scriptures. So Arjun is asking, okay, what if someone does not have faith in the scriptures but has faith in some other entity? What happens to them, right? And then Krishna is saying, actually, you can determine what material mode they are under, what material mode they're influenced by, based on seeing their activities, and that's how you can know where is it that their faith lies. Remember? And that's when we talked about, okay, what are those activities that can help us understand what specific material mode a person is influenced under. Remember? So, what are the different kinds of activities we talked about? So, one is worship. So, someone has talked about worship, right? That based on who you're worshipping. Manas, what else?
The food,
Foods, yes. What else?
sacrifices,
Yes. And?
charity,
And?
austerity,
Very good. Very nice. Yes, these are the different kinds of activities we talked about. So let's go through them one by one quickly. Foods. Who can tell me what are the foods in modes of goodness, ignorance, or passion? Yes, Amrit.
Foods of goodness is like like suppose not too spicy,
Not too spicy.
not
Yes.
too salty,
Hmm.
and then we should not too sweet also, not too sweet.
Not too sweet.
Yes,
Who said that?
nobody said like right. Too sweet also is too sweet. So foods like in the mode of goodness, uh, it's like juice of vegetables. They're all mode of goodness. The mode of passion, like too bitter fruit, too bitter
Yes.
things, too burn things, and too dry. Suppose you don't add any dal or chutney or something, then too dry. That is in mode of passion.
Hmm.
And food. Suppose you make some food like some hours before, like a few hours before you eat that, you put it in the fridge for 2 hours. That means it's mode of ignorance.
Okay. So you're correct on the bit of too sweet. So actually, Krishna loves sweets. That's why Prabhupada also says in the purport how sweets are actually in the mode of goodness. But I also agree with you that someone is like, now I can eat as many sweets as I want. So sweets are actually in the mode of goodness. But obviously, if you consume too much sugar or too much sweet, then it will make you very lethargic. And lethargy is in which mode?
Passion and ignorance.
Ignorance.
Ignorance. Lethargy is ignorance. It makes you lazy, right? You don't do any activities, you just want to sleep, waste time. So, if you eat too much sweet, it'll be difficult for you to do any activities in the mode of goodness, right? So, you'll degrade yourself to the mode of ignorance. But usually, sweets are in the mode of goodness. So, that's why juicy fruits, sweet foods, grains, dals, all of these are in mode of goodness. To Samarth's point, anything that's like too dry or too bitter, too spicy, too salty, too sour is in mode of passion. And things that are contaminated,
Tasteless,
that are
tasteless,
old
tasteless.
old food, tasteless, untouchable food, all of that is in mode of ignorance. So what happens if someone consumes too much food that's in the mode of passion or ignorance?
They become more passion. Like if suppose somebody eats more passion, prasadam, then he become
Can
passion.
there be such a thing as passion prasadam?
No, no,
Because prasadam is in which mode?
goodness,
Huh?
So
Suddha
goodness.
Sattva.
Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. Yes, it's above the three material modes. Yes. So if someone eats old food, tasteless food, untouchable food, or food that's very spicy, if they eat that all the time, then they'll get diseased, right? So they're going to have an early death, their body will be diseased, it'll be a place of misery. Whereas for someone who eats food in mode of goodness, they'll have a long, disease free, happy life. But obviously, like too much of anything is bad, right? So if you overeat, even if you're eating in the mode of goodness, if you overeat, you're going to get diseased. If you have too much sweets, you're going to get diseased. And what is the best of all foods? What is the food we should be eating?
Prasadam.
Prasadam. Yes, remnants of Krishna. All right. Sacrifices and austerity. So, what are the three ways in which you can be doing austerity? Yes, Avigna.
Mataji, Kaya, Manasa, and Vacha.
What does that mean? Kaya, Manasa, Vacha.
Mataji, Kaya means body, Manasa means mind,
Hmm.
and Vacha is your speech.
Yes. So you know how the sannyasis they carry the danda with them. Have you seen them? The orange staff that they carry. You know what it's called?
Sannyasa danda, tridanda,
Three
tridanda,
danda. Three
tridanda.
danda. What does three danda mean?
3 sticks. The 3
3
sticks.
What do these 3 sticks? So for everyone, so the danda that the sannyasis carry, right? The one that's wrapped in saffron cloth. Inside there are actually 3 sticks. That's why it's called a 3 danda, right? So there are 3 sticks together. It's the sannyasis, the Vaishnav sannyasis they carry. It's called a 3 danda. What do these 3 sticks signify? Why are there 3 sticks? What do they
It
signify?
means he devoted his life to with activities, body and speech.
Exactly.
Mind, body, and words.
Yes. So kaya, vacha, manasa. This is what those 3 sticks represent. All right. So that's why there's beautiful Vaishnav Acharya songs. There's beautiful verses, Kayana Vacha Manasendriyarva, as to how the epitome of surrender is when you surrender fully. What does fully surrendering mean? That I surrender with my body, I surrender with my mind, and I surrender with my speech. Okay, so the sannyasis, that's what it represents. They've fully dedicated their lives, as Nandu said, fully dedicated their lives, devoted the kaya, vacha, and manasa to the Supreme Lord. Okay, so those are the different ways in which you can do austerity. All right, so what are some ways in which you can do austerity of the body? Let's talk about if you were doing it to please the Supreme Lord. What are some ways in which you can do austerity of the body?
Mataji,
Who hasn't answered so far? Avigyan hasn't answered. Avigyan can't hear you. Do you want to speak again? Yes. What are some ways in which one can do austerity of the body? Avigyan hasn't revised. All right,
Mataji,
Samar?
can I say?
Yes.
Mataji, suppose you are fasting on Ekadasi.
Very good. Yes,
Fasting
very
on
good.
Ekadasi and fasting on disappearance and appearance days.
Very, very good.
That.
Very nice. Anything else? What are other ways in which you can do austerity of the body?
Mataji, can I say?
Yes.
Mataji, worshipping the Lord, the deities,
Hmm.
as Samad said, fasting as well,
Hmm.
keeping like your body clean.
Yes. Cleaning the temple room, right?
Yes.
That's also a way in which you can do austerity of the body, cleaning the temple room. Cleaning yourself, as you said, keeping yourself clean. By practicing tolerance, right? As Mataji, Samarth is laughing today, he got a lesson on tolerance in the temple this morning. By practicing tolerance, as Mataji's just message, rising early in the morning. That's also an austerity of the body to please the Supreme, right? So many times you're like, don't want to get up, don't want to get up. No, Prabhupada said anyone who wakes up after 4 a.m. is completely lazy. So the sign of a good devotee, a devotee has to wake up before 4 a.m. How many of you wake up before 4 a.m.?
Today I did not. Some
Look,
days I did.
every other day Samat wakes up before 4 a.m., right? That's what you're saying? Today you did not?
No, sometimes at 5 o'clock in Singapore, 5 o'clock.
Okay. Who wakes up before 4 a.m.? Prabhupada explicitly said that everyone should wake up before 4 a.m. Anyone who wakes up after 4 a.m., like what you're wasting your time, you're completely lazy. You have to wake up before 4 a.m., get ready, freshen up, start doing your rounds. So how many of you wake up before 4 a.m.? Okay. So one way to do austerity of the body, right? All right. Austerity of the mind. What are ways in which you can control your mind or engage your mind to please Krishna? Yes, Ashrat.
What are you thinking about, Krishna?
Thinking about Krishna. Wonderful. What else?
Mataji, can I say?
Yes, Samarth.
Mataji, like we always have to remember of Krishna as a source.
Very good. So
As a
anytime
source of sacrifice. If we do sacrifice,
actually anything
should
that
we
you're
do?
doing, why just sacrifice? Source of everything, right? So if you see a beautiful flower, if you see a nice mango, remembering Krishna as a source of all of that, right? In fact, some of that stuff that we just talked about in terms of austerity of the body, that's also austerity of the mind. Rising early in the morning is not just your body game, it's also a mind game, right? Fasting on Ekadashi is not just a body game, it's also a mind game. You have to control your mind to not go after sweets or not go after palatable foods, right? So all of that is also austerity of the mind. One of the best ways of doing austerity of the mind is by learning verses or meditating on, right? As who said, thinking of Krishna. Who said that?
Astrid.
Ashrit, yes, as Ashrit said, thinking of Krishna, one very easy way to think of Krishna is by learning and remembering the verses. So, so many times, the best way to learn verses is, say, if you learn any verse in the morning, right? Now, if you're taking a shower, you remember that verse in your mind. If you're going to school, you're walking to school, you're sitting in your bus, anytime you have some free time, you remember it in your mind. Okay, that is one of the best ways to learn and memorize verses. All of that, reading Krishna book is also study of the mind to please Krishna, right? All right. What are some ways in which you can engage your speech to please Krishna? Yes, Bhavya.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Audible?
Yes.
Okay, so first one is obviously glorifying Krishna and uh, reciting Vedic verses and truthfulness. I think that comes under Manasa,
Hmm.
not Vacha.
Both, I think.
Yeah, both, yes.
Hmm. Other ways in which you can engage your tongue to please Krishna?
Eating prasad.
Eating prasadam. Exactly.
I
Everyone's
really
favorite.
wish once I come to Singapore, I'm going to hold all Matajis and tell them that Mataji, please, I want prasadam made by all of
There's
you.
always so much prasadam here. So much
Yes.
prasadam.
Today lemon rice.
Right.
When I
So
see
much.
your pictures, you all little kids sitting and having burgers and pizzas and nice prasadam, I feel like going there and having everything. That's
Yesterday was
so
especially
nice.
feast. Yesterday was, you all know Vrinda Mataji, right? She also is one of the teachers. It was Vrinda Mataji's Prabhu's birthday, and they're both expert cooks. And Vrinda Mataji is not here, but there was a massive, massive, massive feast yesterday. So all these kids enjoyed it.
Prabhu's birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, so one way to engage your tongue is by honoring prasadam. One important thing is we don't say eating prasadam. Okay? We
Honoring
honor
prasadam.
prasadam. Yes,
Yes.
we don't eat prasadam, we honor prasadam. Because these are, we eat something for our own sense gratification. But we honor the remnants. Prasad means mercy, right? So we don't take mercy for our benefit. We honor the mercy. We are grateful for mercy, right? So we honor prasadam. All right. Most important way, easiest way to engage your tongue is by chanting. Have all of you heard of that?
Yes.
Have heard of chanting? Okay. Yes, Mataji, you heard of chanting. Sometimes we do it also. Chanting, best way to engage your tongue in pleasing the Supreme Lord, right? Learning verses, reciting verses. In fact, Prabhupada says that the best way of conversations in learned circles, and which means also in devotee circles, is that every single thing that you speak, you should be able to quote the Vedic reference for it. Think of how powerful and how important that is. Where he's saying every single thing that you're saying, you should be able to back that up by a Vedic reference. So nothing that you say should be speculation that, oh, I think it is like that or I think it is like that. No. Every single thing you speak in any learned circle, you should be able to back it up by a Vedic reference. To say, it is XYZ because Bhagavad Gita says so, Srimad Bhagavatam says so, or the Padma Puran says so. All right. So that Prabhupada says is the best austerity of the for the tongue, or best austerity of speech. All right. Cool. Charity. Let's talk about charity. What are some examples of charity in different modes? Deshna.
Sorry, Mataji, I couldn't hear you.
Okay, Deshna, tell me what is an example of charity in mode of ignorance?
Doing it for doing it maybe unwillingly and doing it for some benefits.
So, okay, one way to understand, anytime we do some activity for our own benefit, that's usually in mode of passion. Okay, mode of passion means wanting more things, right? We're passionate about accumulating more. So usually when we do anything for the sake of our benefit, that's a mode of passion. When we do anything out of duty, then that is in mode of goodness. And when we do anything that is wrong, that is in mode of ignorance. Okay, that's one way to like broadly understand it. Okay, so here's an example. What if you give, so charity in itself is a good act, right? What if you give charity to someone and that person then goes and spends that money on buying alcohol?
Mataji,
Which
the
mode is that in? Yes,
no, no,
Samar.
Mataji. That way we are we are giving the person the money to buy the. So first thing we are giving him, then he will go and will buy alcohol. Then that way, the person who is selling the alcohol gets karma. The person who made the alcohol, all of them people who help the manufacturing, they also get the karma, and then the person who gave him charity gets the karma, and the person himself gets the karma.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's in mode of ignorance.
Yes, very good, Samit. Very good way of explaining it as well. That all the people who, so if the person is intaking alcohol, right, he's engaging in a sinful activity. So everyone who's helped him engage in the sinful act gets the reactions of that act as well, right? So if you've given him the money in charity because of which he's been able to do a sinful act, you will also get the reactions for it. So what is the best form of charity? So this is quite concerning, right? Because so many times we give money in charity, but we don't know how the money is going to be used. We have good intentions, but we're like, oh, this person is poor, let's help them. And we never go and check how they're using that money. So what is the safest way or the best way of doing charity?
Distributing prasadam.
Very good. Distributing prasadam. Yes. What else?
Mataji, donating to the temple.
Donating to the temple. Yes. What else?
Mataji, charity is like in the mode of goodness. If we are giving to pure devotees and we are building a temple, then that is mode of goodness.
Mode of goodness.
The mode of pure goodness.
Yes, very good. Right? So, safest way of doing charity is doing it to the deserving people or or organizations who are using it in Krishna service. Right? So, obviously, giving money in charity to the devotees. Very good answer, Deshna, that distributing prasadam is a very safe way of doing charity also. Right? Because you're distributing Krishna to so many people. Very good way. That's why, especially in ISKM, we do so much prasadam distribution, right? Because we are allowing people to get in touch with Krishna so easily. Very good way of doing charity, and yes, of course, helping
Mataji,
temples, helping distribute Prabhupada's books as well, right? So, very good way of doing charity is also distributing Prabhupada's books. Yes, Bhavya.
Mataji, while I was a small child, whatever money I would get, here after every 250 meters, there is somebody sitting and begging. I would give all my money to everybody. Once a man was lying down taking alcohol. I did not know, I was a small child. My mom said that don't go, don't give money to that person. And I said, no, he is very needy. He should be helped. I took out the money that I had, whatever, and I gave it to him. Now, see, I have so much of sinful reactions. I don't know where will I go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what Prabhupada will always say that the law of karma, they're so intricate. They're so complicated to understand as well. That at any time, even when we have good intentions, we're doing so many sinful actions. Even when we have good intent. That's why he said, safest way is to surrender to Krishna. Even if we do some sinful actions, be like, Krishna, it's your responsibility. I was only doing it for you. It's your problem, not my problem. Right? That's why he's like, just surrender to Krishna. Easiest way out there. Um, yes. Yes.
Which chapter are we doing now?
We are doing 19th chapter, Sanvi.
We have covered quiz, I guess.
We're revising 17th chapter.
I'm
One we
the
did last
18th
week.
chapter in Bhagavad Gita. Not even 18 chapters.
We're revising 17th chapter. We're almost finishing the revision, and then we'll start 18th. Okay, so you didn't miss next chapter. One more thing I was going to cover. What was that? I forgot. But yes, one very good way of doing charity is distributing Prabhupada's books. In fact, the best way to preach is to distribute Prabhupada's books. All right. Yes. So, and what was the last section in chapter 17 that we covered?
Mataji, is it about a sacrifice, like about a sacrifice in mode of goodness?
No, it's okay. We already talked about the different activities and different modes, right? What was the last section in this chapter? Yes, Avigna.
Mataji, all activities with faith in Krishna.
Okay, so what did Krishna say? That what if an activity is done or an action is done without faith in him? What does that? What kind of an activity is that? What does that mean?
Mataji, that is like useless in both this life and the next life.
What do you mean it's useless in this life?
Like
Why is it useless?
you don't have any faith in Krishna, so
So why is it
Mataji,
useless?
I remember the word asat.
asat,
Asat. What does asat mean?
impermanent.
How do you know it means impermanent? What is a word that
Temporary.
you can relate it to?
Sat.
Sat,
Oh
yes.
yeah,
What does
yeah,
that
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, what does Sat mean?
It's in Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Means
Thank
eternal,
God.
eternal, eternal.
Very good. Yes. So if
I
Sat
never
means
know anything for
eternal,
this.
then Asat will mean temporary, right? Which is impermanent. Very good. So Krishna says that anything that is done without faith in him is useless. It is Asat, right? So it is useless both in this life and the next life. But can someone explain to me why is it useless in this life also? Why is any such act of piety done in this life without faith in Krishna also useless?
Mataji, so suppose I'll give an example. Suppose one man he's serving Krishna but like out of force, then he won't serve Krishna at that time, that time he won't remember Krishna. So and then he argued with God and then told that no use.
Yeah, and that's why Krishna says it's useless in the next life. Right? If he won't remember in the during the time of death, it will be useless in the next life. Right? So, but why does he say it's also useless in this life? Yes, Nanda.
Because without faith to Krishna, then there'll be no success. There won't be any fruit bearing from it. Because in the Vedic scriptures, the main thing is faith in the Supreme. That's what is being told. So if you want the Vedic knowledge and to understand the ultimate goal, you need the faith in Krishna. Otherwise, you cannot obtain any success without following this main principle.
Yes, very good. So, I mean, clearly in next life, anything is useless if you don't have faith in Krishna, right? But even in this life, in two ways, both as what Nanda said, that see, at the end, any activity you do, you have to follow. What does having faith in Krishna mean? It's the same as having faith in the Vedic scriptures, right? Because all the scriptures point towards surrender towards the Supreme Lord. So if you don't have faith in the scriptures, even the activities you're doing in this life are useless because it's like if I don't even know if I want to go from Singapore to India, but I don't have the map on me, then if I just go out of my home, will I reach India? I will not. Right? So any move direction that I make will be completely useless. That is one. The second thing is also remember we studied that even the demigods that you're worshipping, any other living entity, anything that you're any pious activity that you're doing as well, who is the one who's finally giving you the fruits of those activities? Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna, right? So if you don't have faith in Krishna, then even the activities you're doing in this life is useless. Right? Because at the end, he's the root of the tree. So you can do all you want to like please the subordinates, but if you don't actually know or don't understand who the final proprietor is or who the actual benediction giver is, then mean even those activities are useless. So he's saying at the end, you have to have faith in me, you have to have faith in the word of the scriptures as well. And only then does anything at all that you do in this life is actually going to provide any benefit, be it in this life or the next life. Okay? All right. With that, we finish covering chapter 17 and now we move on to chapter 18. Back to you, Mataji.
Thank you, Nishita Mataji. Hare Krishna. Please switch on your cameras. How are you all? Ready for chapter 18?
Yes, Mataji.
What is chapter 18 is all about?
Conclusion, the perfection.
Conclusion? Yes, Sanvi? Sanvi left. Anytime Sanvi want to talk, she gets disconnected. I was thinking, what happened?
Mataji, it's a perfection of renunciation.
So you had time to quickly browse it, right? Okay.
No, Nanduanna, every time Nanduanna comes, right, he will always ask, what is this chapter, what is this chapter name, what is this chapter name? So I always write it in the book.
So it's repeatedly asking, repeatedly just remembering, you can remember, right? So which is very good. Yeah, conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. Before even going to the slide, do you all know what is renunciation means?
Mataji, Vairagya.
Vairagya is Sanskrit, English renunciation. Understand? But I want a
Renunciation means
simple meaning.
detachment.
Detachment. Okay. Anyone else? Yes,
Mataji, like Bharat Maharaj.
Mhm.
Bharat Maharaj, he renounced his kingdom like sannyasi. You see, he's not in home watching TV, sitting on the bed. He's sleeping on the grass also. That
So
is
is sannyasi and renunciation is same?
It's like sort of same because he detached everything. Detachment and what detachment? What is the word again? Renunciation. They are two different.
Same or not?
They are two same. Yes, same.
Yeah, same. Okay. So if sannyasi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyasa order, right? And then he was completely in Vairagya where he don't even see the women, completely detached. Fine. And Prabhupada was in sannyasa order. But did he get completely detached? Fully detached? Okay. Can we say that people in the Grahastha life, can we say they are renunciation, or some are renunciated as well? Yes or no?
Yes, Mataji.
So renunciation not necessarily sannyasa, right?
I guess renunciation is giving up the desire to fulfill your own sense gratification and
Very
trying to please the Lord, right?
Very good. Very good. So basically, in fact, Prabhupada did mention one of the purport is pretty much similar, same, equate both the sannyasa.
Mataji, yeah. So the renunciation, it's actually it's not fully renunciation because renunciation means you are Prabhu is not fully renunciation. It's like because you are not renunciating your devotion to Krishna. Then yeah, that means it's not only renunciation from material things.
No, that is fine. My only question is sannyasa and renunciation is same or different. But yes, Bhavya did give a answer that renunciating from material desire, self sense enjoyment, and attached to Krishna. Okay, basically renunciation is a perfect dependence on God, nothing but dependence on God, detaching from the material nature and attaching to the higher taste, which is Supreme Lord. So basically, no accepting any kind of personal sense enjoyment, giving up. So there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. I think I included that in the slide as well. We can go through that. So basically, we finished revision of chapter 17. We're starting with chapter 18, and you know all the virtual classroom etiquette, right? And the perfection of renunciation is our chapter. We have 3 topics. I only going to cover until 18.40. How many verses are there in chapter 18?
78.
78 verses. So today we are going to only cover until 40. Because of so many verses, we cannot finish it in one class. We're going to do it in 2 classes. Today is part 1, which is until only 18.40. So 18.40 have 3 sections. First, it says about renunciation of activity. There is a detail about it. And to understand a little bit more about it through knowledge and modes that control all these activities. So we're going to see this in the sequence. So first is renunciation of activity. I want someone to read this. We don't have so many verses in this part 1, only 3 or 4 verses.
Mataji, can I?
Before even I call upon. Yes, Avigna, go ahead.
Arjuna Uvacha Sanya Sasya Mahabhaho Tattvam Ichhami Veditum Tyagasya Hrishikesa Prithakesi Nisudana. Arjuna said, translation, Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, tyaga, and the renounced order of life, sannyasa, O killer of the Kesi demon, master of the senses.
Thank you, Avigna. So basically, we have covered 17 chapters. Every chapter, if you see, although it is Karma Khanda, the section is Jnana, we have divided all those things. But every single chapter, end of every single chapter, or in between, or towards the end of this section, we all got to know one thing is devotional service. The topmost in the yoga. Like devotional service is the one, the top. So here also, actually, the conclusion should have a devotional service as our topmost in this, right? So, but it starts with the knowledge of sannyasa. So you need to understand what is sannyasa and the purpose of our, the devotional service, right? The purpose of our life is basically to renunciate and to attain the transcendental position that we lost. We actually come down from that. We just go back and to the become part and parcel. I mean, to become, to get gain our transcendental position. So this is the main purpose. Renunciation. That's why we need to understand the renunciation here in more detail. To understand, right, there is one nice verse in Srimad Bhagavatam by Prahlad Maharaj. He was telling to his father, Hiranyakashipu, about this material temporary body. I'll come to you on the slide. So renounce the 2 different things. Basically here, Arjuna is asking Krishna. He's still a little bit of confusion. Is so much he been hearing from Krishna. And he's, you see the 2 names he has given is Rishikesha and Keshi Nishudana. What is Rishikesha means? Anyone knows what is Rishikesha means? Oh. Bhavya, yes?
Is it the master of senses?
Yes. Isha is a master. Isha is a master of senses. So basically, all this kind of doubts and sense perception, he is actually killing, helping to come over it, right? That's why his master of senses is helping. So he's asking, Arjuna is telling Rishikesha and also Keshi Nishudana, all the doubts that Arjuna has, and Arjuna is treating that as his demon. He has to kill those doubts. That's why he's calling as Keshi Nishudana. And he's asking Arjuna, Krishna, can you tell me the difference between the sannyasa and renunciation, tyaga? That's why I was asking also earlier, what is sannyasa means? You need to understand. So sannyasa, the answer from Krishna is this. Now, actually, he says, someone says, the intelligent person says, learned person says that renounce order of life, sannyasa means giving up all activities that are based on material desire, right? That is renunciation. And then just giving up all the material desire. I don't want. Renunciation is simple English language is rejecting things, right? That I don't want to do this, whatever I was doing. Basically, in the spiritual terminology, you are giving up all, rejecting those material desires and moving on to the spiritual platform. That's why it is renunciation. Renunciation, sannyasa order. That's a four out of four order: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Sorry, um, I'm confused with that. Varna ashrama.
Brahmacharya.
Yes, brahmachari. Sorry, brahmachari, grihastha,
Brahmachari, Grihastha,
grihastha, vanaprastha,
Vanaprastha,
and sannyasa,
and
right? In the
Sannyasa.
sannyasa order, each one have their own duty. Brahmachari, of course, they are married, they have to learn, and they kind of getting trained. And then grihastha ashrama, you will be doing still a devotional service, but in the grihastha ashrama, in the married life and with the family and everything. And in the vanaprastha, where you will be giving up all your activity, but you will still be going in a different places to places visit and then kind of gaining your spiritual advancement. But finally, sannyasa is complete detachment from the family life also. No family life, no women, no money. In fact, sannyasa life, there's also mentioned they should not cook for themselves. They just beg and eat whatever they get. It if they don't get, they don't eat. Something like that. But that's why complete giving up of material desire and surrender. So that's one thing. And renunciation is tyaga, which is also giving, you're still doing the work. Sannyasa order, basically you give up everything and go, but in renunciation tyaga, where you're giving up the results of all your activities to Krishna, basically. The results you don't own, which we have been learning from the day one, right? It's kind of niskama karma yoga, where we have learned that we do the activity, we don't enjoy, we don't own the activity, we don't own the result, everything. It's all we are giving the results to Krishna. So that is complete renunciation. Sannyasa, in some of the purpose, Prabhupada mentioned that sannyasa, basically, the sannyasis need not actually give up every single work what they do. Sometimes they have to cook. Sometimes they have to do the marriage ceremony to elevate the lower state of the people. Like sannyasa is the highest order, right? The lower state is basically grahastha and the vanaprastha and grahastha. They wanted to elevate into the spiritual advancement. For example, that two of the people want to get married, and sannyasi can do a marriage ceremony for them, because in if they dotted to Krishna consciousness, if they wanted to become, because you need offspring to become, I mean, to get this grahastha ashramam is also we can do in devotional service, we can do, we can elevate ourselves to Krishna consciousness path, right? So that way we have to, sannyasa order, basically they have to support, they have to encourage the people, so they still can do it. So that's why basically sannyasa and tyaga, one and the same, is equal. And Prabhupada mentioned that, but you need to understand the literal meaning of it. Sannyasa order of life is basically you give up all the material activities and you get into that order to serve only Krishna. The second one is you do your work, wherever state you are in, wherever the ashrama you are in, but you give up the results to Krishna. That is tyaga, that is renunciation. We can do it in any ashrama, that one. Okay. So actually, Krishna did give his verdict that giving up is all the results to all the activities is what he recommend. This is the verse I'm trying to say. I have put this here. Can someone read it? I think Sammat mentioned that he want to read. I'll give to Sammat. Next verse, maybe Manas I'll give. Yes, Sammat.
So, renunciation of activity karma. Bhagavad Gita 8.1-12. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.5. Sripralad Uvacha Tatsado Manye Suravarya Dehina Sada Samudvigna Tiyam Asatgrahat Hitvatmapat Patam Griham Antakupam vanam gato yadarim asrayeta.
Mhm.
Translation. Dharmaraj replied, O best of Asuras, king of the demons, as far as I have learned from my spiritual master, any person who has accepted a temporary body and temporary household life is certainly embarrassed by anxiety because of having fallen into a dark well. Well, there is no water but only suffering. One should give up this position and go to the forest. More clearly, one should go to Vrindavana, where only Krishna consciousness is prevalent, and should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Thank you.
Antakupa is the well,
Mm.
and Harim Asrayeta is
Is taking
Krishna's lotus
shelter of the
feet.
Supreme Personality of Godhead, basically taking shelter. So these two words are very, very important here in this verse. Basically, for renunciation, one must give up this Andakupa and take shelter of the Harimashrayeta. Basically, Andakupa is a dark well where there is no water, and then you will be, it's just comparing analogy they were giving that you will be, once you take this temporary body and temporary life, household life, you will always be in full of anxiety. There is no doubt about it. It will be in a although looks like you're very happy, sometimes it's all very, very temporary. Everything is temporary here. It's because of we only have sufferings in this material world, and one has to come out of this and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is what Prahlad Maharaj is telling. This is actually a renunciation. What renunciation means, you need to understand that. Any question? Okay. So we need to give up the activities, material desires, correct? All kinds of fruitive activities you give up. But you should not give up these things. What are these things? What you should not give up? I have given, someone can say loud.
Mataji, to give up, you need to leave all of your sinful activities. But if you don't, when it comes to do not give up, that means you shouldn't means leave all your pure good activities like it will be.
We should not give up the acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance. Mataji was actually covering this in the earlier chapter as well, right? Charity and all, sacrifice, everything. So we should not give up. Okay. And we should also not give up our prescribed duty. When we say we give up, renunciation means just give everything and give up everything and go to the forest. No, that is not for our ashrama that we are doing. Whichever the ashrama we are in, we have to stay there and we have to do our prescribed duties. What are the prescribed duties? It will come in the later chapter, later verses next week. But you have to remember this. We should still be working. We should do the sacrifice. We should do the charity. We should do the penance. What is sacrifice here? Sacrifice means? Anyone can say what is sacrifice? No need to raise hand, just loud because I cannot really see. Yajna, right? Sankirtana Yajna. We can continue to do that. Any kind of sacrifice that is elevating to our Krishna consciousness, we should be doing. We should not deny that. Okay. There are
Mataji,
yes, Bhavya.
I have one question.
Mhm.
If we say that do not give up prescribed duties, then we have this one path where first we become brahmacharya, we have brahmacharya, and then we go to grihastha ashram. But what about the sannyasi? They have, is it that they are given up the prescribed duties?
Mataji, is it
The ones who have already, from after brahmacharya, they did not enter into grihastha. They immediately took sannyasi like that.
Mataji? My father was telling me that in the night time in the Padma Puran book I was reading, and my father was telling me that first one has to become a brahmacharya at the age of 13. After that, if you want to become married, you can marry, and then after that he have at the age of 50 he have to become vanaprastha, then sannyas. But then actually, if you are a very like Naistika brahmachari like Tattvavid Prabhu, then you can skip to sannyas directly at
Okay.
50 years.
Bhavya, is this your question? Somehow your voice was not clear to me, but my understanding is the level of step by step ashrama. Can someone go from brahmachari to sannyasa directly? Correct?
Yes, but also that if I don't want, I mean, I hope I try to put this in proper words, that just now it is said that we should not give up our prescribed duties. You see, prescribed duties. So,
Prescribed duties in that ashram, wherever we are
okay,
staying. Correct?
okay,
Right now you're a student, you can be kind of a brahmachari before marriage, right? So in that ashram, if at all you are getting married, you will get into a the grahastha ashram, correct? When you are in a grahastha ashram at the age of 50, you have to go to vanaprastha. That step cannot be skipped. But from brahmachari, you don't need to get married. For the example, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, and also just now Samat mentioned our Tattvavid Prabhu. So similar to that, there are brahmacharis who wanted to stay as brahmachari. There is no need to get married, and they will directly go into sannyasa order at certain age, right? So that
so
is
that means that if a person has gone from brahmacharya to sannyasa, so still they are doing their prescribed duties,
prescribed
right?
duty. Yes,
Okay,
they have to do their prescribed duties. Whatever the
okay.
brahmachari have to learn, have to follow all. I mean, it's a training period for them. They have to follow all these rules and regulations. It's very, very strict for them. They have to follow. But for grahastha, it is that strictness will not be there because of the family life, right? That's the thing. Okay. So let's move on. The acts of sacrifice, you have to charity also. Mataji mentioned different modes. The charity is there, right? You give in the mode of goodness, what will happen? The mode of passion, what happens? Ignorance also, what will happen? But make sure that you are this, whatever charity you are giving, it only elevates to the next level, which is Krishna conscious path. It should not be degrading you. You should not be doing the charity in the mode of ignorance or passion. You have to really, really remember that. Penance again, just austerity. You're doing so much of austerity for your personal benefit. No, you're doing personal penances to gain the love of devotion. I mean, Krishna, the devotion service. That is where you should not give up the penance. So remember, you have to give up the all kinds of fruitive activities. Whatever you're doing, remember that Prabhupada also give an example. The person working in a factory. So doesn't mean that he is very much, I mean, he may not be totally involved in with that factory ambience or the management or the people or the work he's doing is also, he may not be fully involved, but his involvement is only to whatever is gaining out of it, he is going to give it to Krishna. Then he is completely renunciated as well. So that is very ideal situation, very difficult situation for any of the common man to follow that, because anytime then when you start, just get out of the temple, get out of your this class also, whatever, the moment you go into studies, moment you go into work, whatever you will be thinking is to get money for your personal benefit. That will happen. That's happening right now. 99.9% is happening. So the moment you think that this is not for me, 100% I'm going to use this money for Krishna consciousness, then it is actually renunciation. But
Mataji, today in the class also,
uh-huh,
Prabhu was telling, Gopal Prabhu was telling that whatever the bush, so if we are talking about Jada Bharat, so Jada Bharat was renounced
mhm,
then about the 321 that was Prabhu showed.
Mataji,
mhm.
there are three types of goodness, right?
3 types of, sorry Sanvi, I cannot hear you. The moment Sanvi talks, something happens. Okay. Yes, Sanvi? Gone. Sanvi is gone. Okay. So you remember that although the example is given that working in the factory, you have to remember that where we are working, what type of work we are doing, make sure it's not abominable act. It's not that that whatever the work is we are doing is basically it's increasing the population of mode of passion or ignorance, but something that is much needed for the human society. We are working in that platform, but whatever it's only for the maintaining the family and also for Krishna conscious purpose. So then it is okay to work. That's what Prabhupada says. Let's move on to the next slide. Samar, looks like Jagannath Baladev Subhadra is super happy mood. I can see your backdrop and wanted to come in a pompous Ratha very soon. Pompous.
Yeah.
He just went inside Jagannath and Baladev. All righty. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So, Manas, can you read this slide, please?
Yagya dana tapa karma yatyagyam karyameva tad ajno danam tapasyaiva pavanani manishinam. Translation: acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance will purify even the great souls.
Okay, thank you, Manas. So what we discussed, right? Sacrifice, charity, penance should not be given up. We should give up any other activity that increases our material desire. But other than that, we should not give up. We should continue because this should be helping and encouraging us as well as all our associated people to elevate. That is a very important thing that you have to remember. And also any occupation. Do you remember any of the verse we discussed in the past? What is the highest occupation that was recommended? Anyone can say what is the highest occupation that was recommended?
126 Bhagavatam.
Yes, Nanda. Can you recite that verse if you remember?
Sahai samparo dharmo yato bhaktiradoksaje. Hetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. The supreme occupation for all humanity is that which man can attain to loving devotion service is unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self.
Yes. So what does it really means?
Means that for the whole humanity, that one supreme dharma that everyone can attain to is loving devotional service.
Yes. And it should be uninterrupted and unmotivated.
Unmotivated.
Yes. Supreme occupation is a devotional service. Although the work that is given, every prescribed duty for every single ashrama is different, we are talking about, but it's actually eventually is our main occupation. Any ashrama is loving devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it has to be uninterrupted and unmotivated. Haituki apratihata. So that's why it is very, very important to understand what we are what is renunciation means, what actually is the sannyasa order, what are the things that we have to reject, what are the things that we still have to do. So first we understood that we have to renounce our material desire, the work that is leading to our material desires, and we should not give up the charity, penance, and the sacrifice, which includes our Savai Punsa Parodharma, which is our loving devotion service. We have to continue to do that. Okay, so the acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance basically purifies every great souls. It has to, because whatever the way we are doing for spiritual advancement, it will be purifying our soul and should be performed without attachment or any expectation of the result. So we just say sacrifice and charity, penance. We cannot do any tapasya, anything like that, and go and do austerity. All the demons do the austerity as well. They do tapasya so much, Hiranyakashipu, everything they do so much of tapasya to get their benefits, right? To get their material benefits. But that should not. So without attachment, if you do, then it is accepted. Then it is kind of recommended or to do this, any kind of activity. No need to give up. So there are few things that in this chapter until 40 we have. So 3 modes of material nature plays a big part in all kinds of activities that we do. There are 5, 6 or 7 actually. It's been discussed. First one is renunciation. So renunciation in the 3 modes of goodness, how it is acting. So in the mode of goodness, all material association, all the attachment to the fruit, we are renunciating. Basically, what we are renunciation is doing what? All the material association, we are giving it up, and all the attachment to the results also we are giving it up. 2 things, right? We don't want material association, meaning people or work related that is materially attached. We should be avoiding that, and we also should be avoiding the results out of that, any kind of work that we are doing. So that is when we are in the mode of goodness. But when we are in the mode of passion, we reject it or renounce that thing as a troublesome or out of fear of bodily concept. Basically, giving up, for example, giving up money out of fear. Oh, I'm giving a charity because I'm giving to to the temple, because if I don't give the temple, God will punish me. This is out of fear, not out of love. So God will punish me. He will. Many people I know in the south, at least I do remember when I was working in Chennai way long back, 25 years ago, people first salary of their first month salary of their work ever, they will go full first month salary, they will give it to God in Tirupati. So this is still now I think it's happening there. The main reason is mostly the people are highly materialistic, that they give to God. Very few people give it to God. Give it to put it in the hundi for kind of goodness, charitable purpose. But many of the people, okay, I give 1 month salary. The Tirupati Balaji will be expanding that into multiple times of it. That's why I'm giving it. Many people have this material benefit. So, and also many people say, it's a kind of tradition, our family follows kind of tradition, whole people follow. If I don't do that, Tirupati Venkateshwara Balaji will be punishing me. That fear is also there. So that kind of renunciation, giving it something, is not right. It's in the mode of passion. And also bodily discomfort. We give up something because my body, for example, rising early in the morning, we give up that. We don't want to rise early in the morning because of our bodily discomfort. That is a mode of passion, right? We shouldn't be doing that. And renunciation in the mode of ignorance, what happens? Because of illusion, lack of knowledge, we give up few things. Any guess when we will not work? First, in the mode of goodness, we don't work because we don't do any kind of activity that is associating materially. That is also, if at all we do, we don't we renounce the results. But in the mode of passion, we don't do it because out of fear, or we give out of fear, or we also don't do because of our bodily discomfort. But for the ignorance, because of illusion, lack of knowledge, we don't do. Any guess when we don't do things, when we reject things, when we renounce things in the mode of ignorance? Any guess? Laziness. Remember, mode of ignorance, so many things: cheating propensity, laziness, and kind of many things we did learn about the mode of ignorance. People, what and all they'll do. All sort of things is because of lack of they don't have knowledge. They are stubborn. Whatever they think they wanted to do, free thinkers. So they don't work at all. They renounce the work because of laziness, because of they just don't want to work, and they cheat people to get those things. So that kind of people is in the mode of ignorance. So renunciation, you have to understand also how we are renouncing. So in the mode of goodness is the right way that we renounce things. We don't associate materially, and we don't also own the results. So that's how. The other 2 modes we should not do. You understand, right? Renunciation. Any question?
Mataji,
Yes,
if
Bhavya.
in the mode of ignorance, even if we renounce, we say, like just now you said, but still we are committing the uh, karma through our mana or vacha or something else, right? So, anyways, we are doing the activity. Even if we are lethargic, we are not doing the work, we are
Mhm.
announcing, but we are thinking about it, we are saying about it. So, ultimately, we are doing it, right?
Thinking about it or saying about it? What? About what?
In the mode of ignorance, still we are thinking, right? Thinking of the ignorant things, talking about them.
Yes.
So, still, it's not renunciation completely, right? We are
Um,
lethargic.
yes, but we are not doing anything also, right? Kind of.
So, like from our
Basically, see,
body, we are not.
renunciation of prescribed duties. I put it in this in the bracket as a prescribed duties. You're renouncing your prescribed duties. As a brahmachari, you're supposed to do certain things, right? You're in the brahmachari. There are four ashramas here. Brahmachari. Sorry, here is Brahmana, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras. There are four different varnas are there. And if you see that, all these things have different duties to perform, correct? And if any
Okay.
one of them, if any one of them are in the mode of ignorance, all can be in the mode of goodness or passion or ignorance. Not necessarily only Brahmana is in goodness, the other Shudra is in ignorance. No, even Shudra can be in the mode of goodness if they following the proper renunciation or this, right? So any one of them, if they don't do the prescribed duty, whatever is given to them, whatever is been assigned to them, then that is already kind of renouncing, right? Renouncing doesn't mean that we are not talking about sannyasa order or anything that tyaga. No, this is kind of out of laziness, they don't do. Definitely, they'll come into the karmic reactions. They'll come into they don't elevate at all into the next ladder in the yoga. Definitely, there is no progress for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. So let's, there are two, before going to the next topic, there are a couple of things also Krishna mentioned here. The intelligent renouncer situated, maybe someone can read. Sanvi, can you read? Sanvi is there? Who is that? Who is that to read? Ashrit, can you read, Ashrit?
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
yes, Mataji.
Hmm.
Renunciation of activity, karma. The intelligent renouncer, situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful or inauspicious work, nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about work. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruit of actions is called one who has truly renounced.
Thank you. So here they're talking about intelligent renouncer and truly renounced person. So intelligent renouncer, basically they kind of don't think about whether the work is auspicious or inauspicious. They only think about whether it is materially attached or not, right? So so that this work will not be actually having any kind of karmic reactions on them. And secondly, of course, here they mention Krishna mentions that as an embodied soul, once we are into this material modes of material nature, it is very, very difficult to give up all the activities and go just do sit and do tapasya. It's not possible for us, at least in the age of Kali. It's not possible. That's why one he who renounces the fruits of action, which already we discussed, right? In the mode of goodness, the once we renounce the fruits of action, they are truly renounced. So Krishna recommends that you do your prescribed duty, don't renounce your work, whatever has been assigned to you, but always remember to give up the fruits to Krishna. That's what is again stressing the point here. And here it's very less. I'll read. For one who is not renounced, right? The threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accrue after death. That means karmic reaction will happen. So they will be accumulating all these actions, desirable actions, whatever they have done, because they have not renounced their activity. They may be doing it for sense enjoyment, or they may be doing it for kind of under illusion. They may be doing it kind of demonic activities. All those things will be kind of noted by Krishna, and he'll put into back into this ocean of material ocean of birth and death, and we have to go through that again. But those who are in the renounced order of life have no such results to suffer or enjoy. They don't have these karmic reactions at all, because the results of action has been given to Krishna, as Mata just now mentioned before this and during the revision, right? Devotees, they say, Krishna, I've given it to you. It's your problem. Now you take care of us, right? Whatever I do, I'm only giving it to you as my this. I'm only working for you. So whatever the action or reaction comes for this, it's not my responsibility. You give, I'll just accept whatever it is. So that way, they will not suffer, or neither they will not enjoy whatever is coming. So devotee say, I earned it, so it's mine. But as non-devotee, and devotee says it's all Krishna's mercy, so they don't have any problem, right? So this is so easy to see also, whatever the picture it says, and very nice to know that if we can follow this, right? And it's not very difficult to follow. In fact, looks difficult, maybe because we are so much into this material life, materialistic life, and the association of people is 90% outside, 95%
Hello?
people that we associate. Yes, Abhi, no? So 95% of the time that we are associating with the materialistic people, so it sounds difficult. It looks so difficult for us to give up our renunciation and give up our materialistic attachment, but it's not difficult actually. It is easy, but we need to have the knowledge and we need to have the faith. So when we go back every chapter, we need to have those things to really do this kind of renunciation. Okay. So that first chapter, you know that what are the, quickly we'll just summarize that. It says that Arjuna is asking, tell me, Krishna, what is the difference between what is the meaning of renunciation and sannyasa order, tyaga and sannyasa, and what is the difference? And then Krishna is explaining it, giving up the material desire as well as giving up the results of the activities. Both are the sannyasa and tyaga. He's defining it. And then we did learn about Prahlad Maharaj telling to his father about Andhakupa and Hari Hashrayeta. These two are very important words that one has to come out of it. Means we have to give up Andhakupa, which is a dark well, which doesn't have water, meaning analogy that, and we have to come out of this temporarily anxiety because of temporary material world, that body that we have taken here in this world, and we have to surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna, which is the taking shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what we need to give up, what we don't have to give up. We saw that, and why we shouldn't, I mean, if we don't give up all this sacrifice charity, it will basically be purifying our souls, as well as we have to remember whatever the charity sacrifice that we are not giving up, it should always be in the mode of goodness, and it shall, which actually says that we should perform without attachment. So remember, this the modes of goodness plays a bigger part. Once we are in this material world, we cannot escape from the modes of material nature, and all the activity that we are doing plays a bigger part by the modes of material nature. And here we are seeing the goodness, passion, and ignorance when we will be renouncing such prescribed duties, and that what and all goodness says what we actually be renouncing, and passion and ignorance says when we will be renouncing it. And let's go into the next section, which is knowledge about the renunciation, knowledge about this. Little more detail we need to understand. It's very little few verses only. After that, we'll jump into the third section. So let's go into the knowledge. What actually, who want to read this? Let me see. Who didn't read yet?
Mataji, can I?
You already read, right? Hold on. Hold on. Lokesh, can you read this, please?
Sure. Shitam tatta karta karanam cha pritagvidam vividhascha pritak chesta devam chevatra panchamam. The place of action, which is the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the supersoul, These are the 5 favors of action.
5 factors of action. So when we do any kind of work, there are 5 causes of the action that we are doing. I mean, what are the 5 causes? They mention one is the place of action, meaning if we are doing, our body is the place. And if we are doing, we are the performer, which is the living entity. And the senses that is accompanied is the one of the cause. And many different kinds of endeavor that we are doing, the work as such, it's a one of the cause. And ultimately, finally, you have to remember super soul. So any work that we do, you are not the doer. Super soul sitting inside the heart, that super soul is basically directing you, and he is the cause of all cause. Sarva karana karanam. So these are the 5 factors basically is a cause of that any activity that you do. So let's little detail we'll see here. 5 material causes. Adhishthan, the place of action. In this verse, it says, Adhishthanam tata karta karanam cha pratak vidam vividascha pratak chesta daivam chaivatra panchamam. So basically, Adhishthan is a place of body, Karta is the doer, and Karana is the senses, and Chesta is the endeavor, whatever the effort, that work that you're doing. And finally, the ultimate cause is Daivam, which is super soul. So you have, these are the 5 material causes that every action, whatever we are doing, because of this. Every single action, because of my body, because of I can do. If a person don't have hands, he cannot do certain things, right? But I have everything, so I can do. It's because of my body. And it's because of I am the doer, I decide to do this. And that consciousness is basically is making it to do. And the senses attached to it, of course, I smell, I see, I wanted to do, I want to eat. It's all because of that. And the endeavor, the effort, that work, that what exactly doing, taking it and putting it on the mouth, right? That's one. And finally, this super soul is the one who is directing you. And when you say that I did this work, that itself is already a false ego, but you have to remember it is done because of Krishna is directing me, the super soul is directing me. I'm just an instrument to do that. You have to remember that. So the right work, any act, just we saw that any work that we are doing, these are the 5 causes. But what is the right work? What is the wrong work? We need to understand here. The right work done in terms of prescribed scriptural directions. So in the Vedic scripture, whatever is again the prescribed duties, right? In the Vedic scriptures, whatever the prescribed duties given to us, only we do that. But nowadays 90-95% of the people population are all one category. Which category they belong to? Which category? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. Which category they belong to? Are you all there, or am I there?
Shudra.
Most
Yes.
Shudra.
Yes. So most of the people are belong to Shudras because they are not really, we are not a pure Brahmana to do only Brahmana's duties to Patana, they do the yagyas, they do learning, they teach according to the scriptural injunction. These are the Brahmana's duties. So, but we don't do that. And we are not Kshatriyas to protect the people. We are not doing that. We are not a business people to actually protect the business. Vaishyas is not actually having a company and giving work to other Shudras and all. It's more of the Vaishyas those days are all only protecting cows, and the Vedic scriptural injunction says different. So we are not doing that as well. And finally, we are doing a working under some direction of some other materialistic people, which are Shudras, right? So basically, we are all Shudras. But whatever we are in the work done in terms of prescribed spiritual direction, if you are doing it, at least even the Shudras, although in the lowest category, because they don't know the scriptural injunction, but they serve the higher levels. That way they get purified. That way, I'm here. We still have. We can read. right? We are reading right now Bhagavad Gita. We can read more and more Prabhupada books. And with this, the right work that we can do is to elevate ourselves, do all the work related to Krishna consciousness, right? Then chanting, preaching, prasadam, cooking, distributing it, and honoring prasadam, all are whatever the devotional service that we could do is the right work to do. What is the wrong work? Work done against the principles of scriptural injunction, demoniac qualities, all the work related to demonic natures, cheating. We saw many things, demonic qualities and nature in the past chapter. Everything is wrong work. But whatever the work, either case, however, it is the super soul who ultimately sanctions all action. Now you may have a question, why does Krishna or super soul sanctions the wrong action? Anybody have this answer? Can someone answer this? Why he has to sanction that? Because of we have this small independence that we actually came down. We are misutilizing that independence, and then Krishna is saying, okay, you go and do that, and then as a father, he's letting us do and struggle, suffer, and come back to him, learn from that and come back to him. It's kind of a putting us in the prison that where we will learn, revive us ourselves, and then come out of that prison, right? Similarly, so that's a reason, but super soul is the cause of all causes for everything. Okay, so here unintelligent person does not consider the final doer Supreme Lord. So these people, you see the person sitting in the tree is cutting this branch, but he is definitely not intelligent. Why? Because he's cutting the branch where he's sitting, right? He definitely will fall down. This is the same situation is of the unintelligent person. He is basically does not understand Supreme Soul is the cause of all causes. He does not know, and it's not intelligent to consider oneself as an independent doer. I am not a doer. I am not an enjoyer. It's all Krishna who is a doer and who is an enjoyer. We need to understand this. So it's person who thinks that I am the doer himself is an unintelligent person. But person who is intelligent, they does not foolishly think himself as a sole cause. He will not think. And then he will not also expect the fruits of the results and not motivated by false ego. Very plain. We can understand this, right? This is also from the same the verse, but I have not put the verse here. Not much need to know at this moment, but just remember all these points. So we are done pretty much with this understanding the knowledge of this renunciation, the activities. There are 5 causes. One is, maybe I'll just stop sharing. Can somebody say what are the 5 causes? Remember 5 causes. Just now we discussed, right?
The body,
Yes.
the
Okay, Nanda.
senses, the performer, the different kinds of endeavor, and the super soul.
Super. So very good, Nanda. Manas also raised the hand. Sorry, Manas, I didn't see at first. Okay, let me go back to the slide. Oops, sorry, wrong slide. Am I sharing correctly? Yes. So we talked about what is the right work, what is the wrong work, and we also talked about intelligent person, unintelligent person. That's it. Now we are talking about modes that control all activities. We saw the renunciation, the modes controlling the renunciation, which is the mode of goodness, how they'll renounce passion and ignorance. We are going to see there are 6 more activities, 6 more things that mode is controlling. Okay, 3 modes are controlling. So let's see what are the 6 things here. So one is knowledge, action, worker, understanding, determination, and happiness. These are the 6 things that 3 modes of material nature is controlling. Knowledge, then whatever the action work you do, and the worker, whosoever is doing, and understanding of that, and determination that we have to do this, and finally the happiness, all are controlled by the 3 modes of material nature. Let's see how each one. So let's see knowledge, the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Who can read this quickly?
Can I, Mataji?
Yes, Priyangi.
goodness, seeing all living entities as undivided, spiritual nature, seeing all living passion, seeing all living entities as different based on bodies, ignorance, attached to one type of work and not knowing the truth.
Mm. Thank you, Priyangi. So mode of goodness and knowledge, basically people in mode of goodness, they see all the living entities are same. They know because spirit soul and the super soul sitting, they understand soul, and they know the difference between the body and the soul. They can distinguish between the two. That's how they see everybody equal, because they know soul is eternal and body is only the covering, outer covering, and body can be different, but that doesn't mean that you have to differentiate the people, living entity. So that level of knowledge is in the mode of goodness, right? So then passion, of course, they do not understand the difference between the body. They do not understand the body and the spirit. They think it's the same. So whenever there is people in the mode of passion, they think that body and soul are same. The people, when they die, that means soul is also dead. Their understanding. So they see people based on the body. So this person is different, that person is different. And when they die, the person is completely gone, died already. That's how they think. So the level of knowledge in the mode of passion is this much. And the level of knowledge in the mode of ignorance is completely like a animal thinking, animal life, common man. They don't actually have any scriptural injunction understanding at all, right? They're attached to one type of work, not knowing the truth. They will be like kind of what they're stubborn, they do whatever they want to do completely. Uh they don't accept God. For them, money is God. They get money, that is a god, so they work on it. And knowledge, about the knowledge for the ignorant people is anything that satisfies their senses, that is the knowledge. Satisfaction of the bodily demands is the knowledge for them. Anything that can do, and no connection with the supreme lord, and completely they're living the animal life. So this is the knowledge. So knowledge different is the person in the mode of goodness, they can see the difference between the living entity and the other. They can see every living entity same. And for the people in the passion, they see that they are different based on the bodies. But the people in the ignorance, they're completely godless person. Don't they deny God is there, and for them money is God. For them, bodily comfort is the knowledge. Knowledge all about is bodily comfort, everything. Anish Patra. Yes, you have raised the hand for what? May I know?
Mataji, actually, in the yesterday I actually studied chapter 8 in Bhagavad Gita, and there was this part called 8.9, and there it says that Krishna is small of the smallest. And Mataji, I couldn't understand that. So, in the end of the class, could you explain that?
Sure.
Okay, Mataji.
Shayansh, is it?
Yeah, Mataji. It's my
Okay.
brother's name.
Okay, sure. Because we are covering chapter 18 now. Let us finish this.
Okay, Mataji.
Alrighty. So next one is, this is for the knowledge that is affected by three modes of material nature. Next one, action. Action that is covered that is affected by the three modes of material nature. Goodness, it's a regulated, detached, and without fruitive desires. And any action that is done by the people in the mode of goodness, it's all regulated action. Every day rising up early in the morning, and every day you do the deity worship and pay obeisances to the Lord, and then cook for the prasadam for the Lord, and then do your prescribed duty, whatever that you're supposed to do, and offer the results to the Lord. Everything has been regulated, and they are completely detached from the work that they are doing. It's as we know that detachment is detaching from the results and without fruitive desires. This is for the people, they whatever they do in action, this mode of goodness is, these are the three main points that is covered. And for the mode of passion, they put lot of endeavor, they put lot of efforts in doing for sense gratification, which we know. And they are affected by the false ego, because they think I am the doer. I do this for my sense gratification. That is already a false ego. And the mode of ignorance. Basically, the mode of ignorance is an illusion. They work in the illusion, disregard of scriptural injunction, and violence. They will be like very much, as we know that they ready to kill people for gaining anything that they want to enjoy. They cheat people. Last time we saw in the more demonic nature, they don't mind increasing their wealth by cheating and by illegal way. All those things, whatever the action they do, it all because of, I mean, kind of hurting others so easily without even thinking, but because their happiness is the main. So all those are in the mode of ignorance. Passion, of course, they may not do, but exactly the main thing is I and my is in the front, in the mode of passion. I did that. I want to enjoy it. I really wanted to be in the top of it. Those kind of I and mine is in the mode of passion. Ignorance is more, of course, I will be there. More than that, if I live or not, other person have to die. That is what their nature will be. So these are the three actions, different in the different mode, the actions in the different modes, how they perform people. So you all know that mode of goodness is always the right, but just we need to understand the difference between the different modes as well. How, so any work that you are doing currently, just try to differentiate, see which mode am I doing, that am I in the right mode, am I doing it correctly or not. Of course, most of us fall into this category. Some may be, of course, not definitely we will, I'll not be telling any one of you, but in people in the country, we are seeing people doing a lot of nonsense and lot of violence, right? Those people come into this category, but most of us are falling into this passionate category because we still have our own comfort or sense gratification that we are. If anything that is not happening according to our desire, we immediately cry. We immediately feel very dejected. We get angry. Lust, greed, and anger is three gates of hell. We studied in the 16th chapter, right? Will be that. So we do not want to, we know that we fall into this category. We also, the knowledge is also there. This category is the best one. We try to move here, try to rise early, try to get, I mean, do all the devotional service how much possible that we could do. Doesn't mean that I'm talking overnight to change. I know that it will take time, but it is not that we cannot do. Correct? We always can do. We have to move from here to here slowly. This will elevate us to go to the Shuddha Sattva platform. So this one we have to just jump over one by one because this is the Krishna, how beautifully is explaining it. Doing the devotion service is the best. Love of the God is the best. We know that Krishna Prema is the topmost everything. But for us, being in this, at this moment, in this situation, we really cannot do that. We are so much into this Maya. We are into this modes of material nature. So we are not able to escape from it and do the direct devotional service. He's giving step-by-step guidance and step-by-step understanding with the knowledge. You do this activity, but you give up your results, and you do this one with the knowledge of understanding of what is the right thing to do. He is making us understanding. Once we understand, right, anything we do, right, am I doing it right? Maybe something really not right. I shouldn't be doing this. How can I move into the next better level? So what should I do? I may not be able to change overnight, but can I do a small thing that will elevate, that will give, slowly you get the taste of doing that, and you will not miss it. And next time you will just increase your level of devotion a little bit more. So slowly. So it's a gradual process basically, and it helps you. And you have this this human form of life, very, very precious. Durlabham Manushya Janma, very precious human form of life. We have to utilize this. Only we can do that. Ahar and Nidra. And it's like we are not animal life, leading animal life where we only do this mating, sleeping, eating, mating, and defending. We have to do the search of God. We have to do this. So let's take this opportunity to this. So we already saw knowledge in the three modes. We saw action in three modes. What is next is worker in the three modes. So we are the doer. So worker. So doer in the three modes. When the mode of goodness, of course, we are detached, no false ego, and determination, enthusiasm is there to do the work. Anything that we do for Krishna, if you do it with enthusiasm, Krishna will love it. So this is in the mode of goodness, but in the mode of passion, we are attached to the work, whatever we are doing, and we are enjoying so much because we remember we are not the enjoyer. Although we feel happy, if Krishna is happy, it is reflecting on us. Then it's kind of perverted reflection. We are reflecting on us. We are happy. It's all because of him. Then that is right. But we are enjoying. Neglecting Krishna is only my enjoyment. It's not other person enjoyment. We are not thinking about it. It's completely in the mode of passion. So we enjoy. We feel greedy. I only have to do that. I don't want other people enjoy, or I don't care other people is happy, or because of my enjoyment other people are suffering. I don't care for it. We are greedy. We are envious. Other person is happy, but I am not happy. We are very much jealous of it. We are envious of it. We are very impure. This way we cannot elevate to the spiritual platform at all. So we are the worker, doer, and we have in the mode of passion, these are the things that we will be so much into. Remember this. And in attachment to the family life, what we are actually attached, my family, my son, my daughter, and I want my family to be, or I to be. When it comes to the whole nation, we think that the whole universe, my country, that is attachment. I want Mera Bharat Mahan. Actually, no. There is no such thing called country or anything in front of Krishna. For Krishna, everyone are the children, right? We are all, so that way in the mode of goodness, people see that equally all the living entity. But for the mode of passion, people, they see I and my, right? So it's my country. When it comes to the state, it's my state, south or north or whatever. And when it comes to the again district, to the level of like my family, it comes to the level until my family. Even within family, when it comes between the individual person, again it comes to I and mine. So completely we are selfish people, right? You have to understand, we are not so much broad-minded when we say we are nationalism. It's not, because it's just a kind of restricted. So that way we have to remember that any kind of attachment is not right, not good. It will lead to the selfishness eventually, for individual selfishness, basically, not country or place, I mean, region or anything. It's even family. It's just you. You are very much attached to yourself. That's the thing. And since no desire for the higher elevation, people in the mode of goodness, no desire for the higher taste at all. They will always be within this, and they'll come back to this ocean of birth and death. Ignorance, completely other things. They are against the scripture, highly materialistic, and obstinate means stubborn. They don't want to listen to anyone. They do what they're doing is right. Cheating and lazy, which we know that mode of ignorance. So worker people, mode of goodness, they are very much detached. They very much in no false ego. They don't have I and my concept. Passion they do have, and ignorant passion mainly attachment. Ignorance is completely materialistic, stubborn, cheating, and lazy. So all those things. Right? We saw knowledge, we saw action, and we saw worker. What next? It's understanding, the intelligence. So intelligence in the mode of goodness and passion and ignorance, also three different. So intelligence, the people with the intelligence, they know in the goodness, they know what to do and what not to do, because they know the scriptures well. They know what is the prescribed in the scriptures, recommended in the scriptures. They only do that. They don't do that is not recommended in the scriptures. They know good or bad, right? So the good or bad is basically not by the materialistic good or bad. It's good or bad by the Vedic injunction, and that will be basic. It's all coming from Krishna only. All the Vedic literature is coming from Krishna. So it's all basically from Krishna. They know what to do, what not to do. And they know what to fear for, what not to fear for. And they know what is binding and what liberation is. So basically, binding is not follow the scriptures. When you do not follow the scriptures, it binds you. When you follow it, and it will liberate you. This also they know. So the knowledge, the understanding, the intelligence of the people in the mode of goodness, they know what to do, what not to do, what to fear, not to fear, and what actually binds them, what liberates them. They know accordingly, they'll do the work. And for the people in the mode of passion, they cannot distinguish what is good or bad. And the religion or non-religion, they cannot distinguish what is base, because they also don't have knowledge on that. and what to do, what not to do, they do not know. So they only know about themselves, that they can do, but really they do not. Ignorance, they always do the opposite side, wrong thing. What is not to do, only they'll do. They do know or not, don't know, they don't care, but they only do what is. So they, for example, if they are religion, they will do irreligious activity. If they are there is a great soul, they'll do all the common man activity only. They don't follow the great soul activity. And if there is a truth is there, they'll only follow the untruth. So those kind of, always they do opposite things. Ignorance, that is a level of intelligence that they have. Any question here? Next one is determination. Determination is in 3 modes, basically. So
Mataji, having a
yes,
question.
Samar.
Mataji, Avigyan is having a question.
Yes, Abhigyan.
Like, if there is Mataji, if there is a person and he's praying to Krishna, but then he's doing it for the sake of doing it. Is he goodness or passion or ignorance?
What is the sake of doing it? There is no knowledge on it, right? He just
Yeah.
praying out of fear. That is already in passion. Anything that is, I mean, in the fear means that he is not for, I mean, there is no knowledge. There is no what to do, what not to do is the fear. He doesn't know what to do, what not to do, but he is doing just because of he has to do it because his parents telling us, because it's been like that, the tradition follows. It's like either it, I mean, definitely ignorance also because he doesn't know, and but passion also because he may be thinking that it depends, right? If he's doing it just for his sake, because I do this out of fear, I give this charity, I do this, I pray to Krishna because if I don't pray, something will happen to me. That is mode of passion. Definitely, it's not in mode of goodness. Goodness, they should have a knowledge. They should know what is right, what is not right. They do out of love for Krishna. They do for the results has to be for Krishna. But if he doesn't know, definitely is not in the mode of goodness. Okay. So we saw the did we say no? Determination we didn't see yet. We saw understanding. Yes. Determination. One, the person who's determined to do something. So in the mode of goodness, that determination is unbreakable. Who is the example of unbreakable determination, determined person that we know of? Anyone can say?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj, very good. What is the determination that he has?
Dhruv Maharaj, Mataji, Dhruv Maharaj.
No, no, Bhavya, let me come. Bhavya, what was the determination?
Mataji, he was determined in serving the Lord and having firm faith that God will
From
help
faith,
him.
and no
that
matter
Krishna will
how
help.
much disturbance or how much troublesome that he has, he was determined, right?
Yes, yes.
And how Dhruv Maharaj can, so Samarth, can you tell Dhruv Maharaj? He's determined to do what?
Mataji, so Dhruv Maharaj, he was wanted to go to Krishna. He wanted to see Krishna. He was so determined. But he was actually in the beginning. In the beginning, he was like a bit like passion because he wanted to get the kingdom. But after he met the Lord, he said that he was searching for like a glass, but he found a jewel.
But when, yes, that is right. But we are talking about determination. He was so determined, unbreakable determination, because even his mother said he didn't, even his Guru Maharaj, Narada Muni said he still wanted to do, he was doing severe austerity, refraining from eating. Slowly he was reducing, cutting down all his eatings, right? All completely determination. There is one more, I mean, couple more determination. Anyone wanted to share any other determined person? No matter what Haridas Thakur was chanting throughout the day, 300,000 names of Krishna per day. That is also determination, right? No matter what, he will be doing it. So the another person is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura. He also went and kind of went into Mayapur, and then he was chanting day and night, determined, right? So all these are determination in the mode of goodness, and determination and sustain and undeviated. So remember, the determination when in the mode of goodness is completely fully focused. They will not get deviated at all. And it's longer period, it will be staying for long period with them. So that's a determination in the mode of goodness. But the determination of mode of passion, okay, you determine to do something because you want the fruited results, which we are aware of it. And for the economic development, all this buses, trains, everything, so much development of this country is happening is mainly because of mode of passion, because we wanted to improve and advance in the material advancement to give. Why one has to travel to one place to other place in a very fast road? Because no patience, they want to just and comfort, material advancement, everything. They're not even thinking or anything about the what is the ultimate goal of this life. Ultimate goal of the life for the mode of passion is the material comfort and happiness that we are getting it temporarily. That is all about it. They don't even think beyond that. Beyond that, what is the permanent happiness? They don't want to even think about it, right? So it's all material happiness. So economic development, sense gratification, of course. Fruitive results is already for sense gratification. The mode of passion, they'll do that. And determining for the ignorance, they cannot go beyond dreaming, fear, and then sorrow, the sad lamentation, always illusion. So when the dreaming happens, can somebody say when you get dream? In general, many of us get dreams.
Mataji, in the night time when you are sleeping, and Mataji, no, sorry, in the morning. If you are sleeping until the morning, in the morning time only you'll start getting a dream.
Yes, in a way. I want some more closer answer basically. Every day every day you get dream? Every day. I don't remember any dream every day. Sometimes
Every day, actually, every day we go get a dream, but we don't remember it.
basically you get a dream if you have too much of sleep. Yes, if you sleep more than prescribed time hours, you get dream. If you're so tired, you work very hard, you sleep and you get up just for whatever the time. For example, adult people, 5 hours, 6 hours, they have to sleep and they get up. They normally don't get dream. As you said, maybe there, but they don't remember at all. But for the people who sleep longer than, for the children, maybe for your age, 7, 8 hours need to sleep, but you're sleeping for 9 hours, 10 hours, or even more than that because of laziness. You definitely will get a dream because whatever the bodily condition you are in, you may be feeling tired, you may be headache, or you may be having a very nice, beautiful sleep and everything. You will get a beautiful dream, or you sometimes get a very weird because you might have played some very horrible games. You will get dreams accordingly because of your oversleeping. Remember, this dreaming will mostly happens because of laziness and oversleeping. Because you are so smaller kids, you may not understand the hard work, so much of hard work, bodily hard work, and even mentally. If you do such things, right, you will really want to sleep like a knockout, and you will wake up very good sleep of 4 5 hours. You'll get up very fresh. You will not remember, or you will not have any dream at all. So remember that. So people who are in the mode of ignorance, dreaming, they fear because they don't understand why the things are going wrong, because they don't follow any kind of scriptural injection. So the fear for anxiety will be there. They always, I mean, they think that they're happy, but most of the time they'll be sad, sorrow, lamenting. If anything goes wrong, they will not think that it's because of their karma, and because Krishna is, because mode of people, goodness people, or people in the devotees, what they will think if there's something bad happens. Oh, Krishna is actually giving me this because of my karmic action, reactions happening that. And it's also thanks to Krishna, but his intensity is lowering the intensity because he is actually helping me to get over this reaction. That's how the people, devotees, think. But people in the mode of ignorance, they will be thinking that any bad thing happened, they think it is not because of somebody is actually causing this. So they will be scolding others very badly. So it's all lamenting, sorrow, all those things happens because of mode of ignorance, and they will not be having any kind of determination to do anything. Okay. So this is the fifth one. The last and sixth one is the happiness. Happiness in the three modes. So when in the mode of goodness, it initially in the beginning it looks like poison, and in the end it looks like it's a nectar, right? So following the rules and regulations. Again, I'm coming back today. I don't know why. Again, I'm coming back to the rising up early in the morning. So difficult for all of us, because getting up, opening the eyes itself, it's such a bitter thing. So it's kind of poisonous for us. But when we get up, you believe me or not, whosoever getting up and coming for the Mangalarti, they can say that how beautiful the morning program is. By having prasadam time, we'll just relish it and we're so happy. So it's really, at the end, it's a nectar. And I wanted to do again and again and again, right? But morning getting up, that few moments is really very difficult. So it's always remember the happiness is the long lasting in the mode of goodness. But in the passion, it's the opposite. I mean, it's nectar at the first, because we are kind of wanted to endeavor and we enjoy the happiness, everything. The moment we enjoy, all these things are gone, and it looks so sad, like everything is gone. Again, I have to do, again, I have to work. So it's like poison at the end, basically. And if you see the long term period, we are not, again we have to come back to the birth of because if for the people in the mode of goodness, or people in devotees in the Shuddha Sattva platform, or the devotees, when even for the death is not sad for them, because they accept it. They know this is the death of a body, not death of a soul. They know they will still not lament for that. But for the people in the passion and ignorance, at the end it's like it's a very, very painful process for them. And they do not want any kind of disease. They do not want any kind of sadness. But it even inevitably it happens, because we are in the three modes of material nature. We are conditioned soul. We are subject to all those kind of three modes of material nature. We have to have it's all kind of anxiety and sad and everything. So at the neck initially looks nectar, whatever we are doing, we are enjoying, we get all these things, but it's not. It is actually for our repeated birth and death. So ignorance, it's already delusion from beginning to end. They don't accept any kind of scriptural injunctions. They are always confused. They are if any time from the beginning to end, it's the same anxieties. So remember, there are 6 things that we talked about. One is knowledge, action, worker, understanding, determination, happiness. Knowledge, what we discussed. Knowledge, people see, they say all the living entities seem passion, different bodies. Ignorance, they are kind of not attached to any kind of work. They are kind of animal life they'll be leading. And for goodness, we saw that regulate any action, sorry, for the action we saw that all is happening in the regulated, detached, and no desire. And people in the passion, they put a lot of efforts for sense gratification, have false ego in it. Of course, for the ignorance, it's more on the violence and no spiritual injunction. And Vaka, we saw they are detached, no false ego, and they're very much determined, enthusiastic to do things. But passion, the list here is already, it's more on the attachment thing. And for ignorance, they are very much into stubborn, that what they're doing is they're against the scriptures. And for the understanding, the intelligence, they know what to do, what not to do, what to fear, what not fear. For the mode of passion people, they do not know the religion, they do not know what to do, right or wrong. But ignorant people, they do opposite things. So you have to understand. Determination, highly determined to do Krishna conscious things. But passionate people, they determined to do for all the fruitive actions. And for the ignorant people, they don't have determination, they only dream. And for the happiness, initially it is poison, at the end it's nectar for goodness. The opposite for passion, and for ignorant people is always a confusion. I think that's all. And the last one slide is there. Who want to read this?
Mataji, can I? I didn't read us
Okay,
words.
Priyangi. Avigna, you read. So I will give to Priyangi. Oh, Avigna,
न
sorry.
तदस्ति पृथिव्यं वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्त्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यद्भिः स्यात् श्रीभिर्गुणः. Translation: There is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary system, which is freed from these three modes born of material nature.
So here we know this one. Anybody, the highest planet is Brahmaloka in this material universe. All highest to lowest planet, all this planet in this material universe are subject to these three modes of material nature. We are very much aware of that from the past chapters. And here it says, no one is exception from here. No being either here or demigods or even Brahma is free from the three modes of material nature. That's why we saw all these three modes. And for each activity that is being done, it's affected by the three modes of material nature. Even the demigods and Brahma are also not being excluded from this. So everyone are there. So how we are only the very insignificant soul in this material universe. As a human being, we are born. We are also subject to these three modes of material nature, but the knowledge that we understand the difference between the three modes and what is right, what is not right is very important here, which Krishna is giving us this knowledge. We have to utilize this and act accordingly what is the best for us, right? Remember what the knowledge is very, very important here for us. So I think that's all I have. We are done. Let's, any questions from this? I don't have so many verses here because not that important here. That's why I think it's good. We have completed, and Shayanshi had a question. So Shayanshi, can you repeat your question, please?
Mataji, it says that the 8.9 part of the Bhagavad Gita says that Krishna is smallest of the smallest. Mataji, could you explain it? Mataji, you're on mute.
Realize that I'm not. So to understand Krishna, it's not easy. We know that Vedesha Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhakta is from the Brahma Samhita. We have learned it even through the Vedas, and through the speed of mind and wind. We cannot understand or reach Krishna. Only through devotional services we can understand. Krishna is very much of inconceivable nature. We have learned that in the previous years, that in the Isha Upanishad also, that ejati tad naijati tad dure tad vantike, meaning Krishna is like one who walks, who doesn't walk. One is very far, one is very near, who is very big, very small. So all those things from our material senses we cannot understand. But through devotional service, if we have a pure devotional service, we can understand. And also for, to just let you know, super soul, as a super soul sitting within our heart, how small, our soul size. Anybody can remember our soul size?
Mataji, if you take a hair and cut that into 1,000 pieces, and again the 1,000 pieces you cut into another 1,000 pieces, and that 1,000 pieces you are the one that you cut again, cut into 1,000 pieces, again cut into 1,000 pieces. That is the size of our soul.
No, it's 110,000. Basically, if you tip of the hair, if you cut into 100, and each piece in the 100, you again cut that piece into 100, which is 110,000. That is the size of the soul. And the soul is part and parcel of the Krishna. And Krishna is present within a living entity. It's as small as possible. Even for, if Shayanshi, from your science, what is the smallest animal, or smallest living entity that you are aware of in your science, material science?
Is it cells?
Cells, right? And amoeba, all those things, is smallest part, right? It's a still living entity. And that living entity is given by Krishna. And if that small cell you cannot see from your material eyes, you need some microscope. Even smaller than that also will be there. In that also there will be a super soul. Can you imagine how small is that? Every single living entity in this whole world, from the dinosaur to the smallest ant or smallest cell, that we are aware of it from our material senses, Krishna is seated in everybody's heart as a super soul. He must be smallest of the smallest, still there. But you can imagine, you can also think about it, but difficult for us to prove it from our material senses, because our senses are very much limited. We only can see until this distance. We cannot see beyond that. Singapore is although small country, which is only 50 kilometers length and breadth, for example. I cannot see beyond beyond few hundred meters or something. If it's not blockage, there is only few hundred meters you can see. Beyond that, you cannot see. And there will be ultraviolet rays, infrared rays, which direct eyes you cannot see, right? So because that much of limited senses that we have. With that sense, we cannot see, but he is there in every single cell. Smallest cell also is seated within that heart. Understand?
Yes, Mataji.
Anybody have any question? 4 minutes past, but I think we are on time today. So 18th chapter, the first half, although it's just, we don't have so much verse to remember to the level in the Sanskrit verses, but important point is to understand about renunciation. We covered about renunciation, the activities, what is the difference between Tyaga and Sannyasa, what you have to renounce, what you should not renounce. We talked about that. And we talked about the knowledge about the 5 causes of renunciation, worker, all those 5 causes. And we did discuss about this, all the activities that is affected by the 3 modes of material nature. One by one, we saw that. So this is a high level summary. And we will go to the second part next week. It's very, very important. And final chapter, complete conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. You will get to know about it. Every single verse is very important. Things might be, we might go overboard, but please be ready for that. Next week, be present. All right. Avigyan, you raise a hand. Okay, no. Fine. All okay? Yes, Avigyan.
From the verse.
Hmm?
It was before.
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
It's about to put the hand down.
Oh, you're about to put the hands down. Okay. All good. We will share you the material shortly and have a good week. Start revising your Bhagavad Gita from chapter 1 if you have not started or wherever you. Avigyan is like, yes, yes, yes. You have started, Avigyan?
Yes, I know Mataji, but I'm quite tired.
Okay, please do start it. At least do one thing, because again reading the Bhagavad Gita from the beginning, it may be little difficult for you at this moment. You have to do that though. Every time you, how many times you read the Bhagavad Gita with the purpose, every time you will have a new realization, new understanding, everything you have to read. But I would suggest you to go through all the slides that we have been sharing it in the past. Just have a quick browse. Okay, just go through the slides first. Or you do one thing, go through the first chapter slides and then go to the chapter again in the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Go through the translation purport quickly.
Mataji, so purport also is required, right?
Yes.
Purport.
The major ones, yes.
Yeah. Okay, we'll wait.
First, you go through the slides. That will help you. Nishita Mataji, you wanted to share something?
Nahi, Mataji, I think you already covered it all.
Okay. So that's the thing. Please start revising. We only have less. Looks like we have 1 month, but it is not actually. It will be very quickly. It will go. So please start revising it. It's a challenging period now for us, and try to do some austerity for Krishna by reading it. More reading. Okay. This is your austerity. Hare Krishna. See you next week. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.